I really hope they announce who this is afterward. This is awesome. Oh no, that does not be what I think it is.
Hell You Call a Dream by The Warning.
I know it.
It's clear Jake still hasn't learned his lesson of not listening to the radio to avoid spoilers for songs he wants to react to.
I hate you.
I know. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jake. This channel is called Jake of All Trades, and it happened again. Go figure. I gotta stop listening to the radio because apparently the radio decided to ruin another one for me. Intentionally, I know for sure. I was on a trip and was listening to the radio and listened to this awesome song. I'm like, oh, I wonder who this is by. I really like this song, and it was Hell You Call a Dream by The Warning. So, gonna get that one out of the way before I get to some of the stuff I haven't heard from them. And so, again, it was just a one-time thing on the radio, so I don't remember the song that well. So I'm going to be doing a bit of a refresher with the studio version and then the live versions that are listed here with better audio quality than the last time I did the one that they did the live debut for. And so, before I get into it, I do want to give a shout out to everyone who recommended I listen to this song. There's Double J48629, Edward R. Lyons, Mech Time, Old Man Yenny 1663, Oregon LT3, Scott Diverscott, SoCal D Edwards, and TT Fatal. So please forgive me if I mispronounced any of those, but without any further ado, we're going to get started with the official studio version. All right, without any further ado, The Warning, Hell You Call a Dream. Here we go. A little bit more low tune on this one.
I've been invaded by the need to stay inside this cage. Day after day I'm hurting, but I choose to stay this way. Running out of things to say. Isn't it normal to love what we hate? Straining me out just the same.
Pretty profound.
In too deep. Give me something to believe. And it's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe.
I like that.
And it's how you call a dream.
Love the tuning on this. Oh, there's the eye thing again.
Keeps crawling up my skin. The pressure's building and I'm on the verge of caving in. Praying up for the kill. If this can't break me to life, then what will? Suffering just for the thrill. I'm in too deep. Give me something to believe. And it's how you call a dream.
Love the chorus vocals on this too.
Every time the chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe.
And the chord progression change up too.
And it's how you call a dream. Eyes always open in the dark.
Where are we going?
I've been underwater right from the start. Hope is wearing thin. I can't take anymore.
A little bit of Danny's playing there.
Give me something to believe.
Ooh.
And it's how you call a dream.
Like the effect on the chorus vocals there.
The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe.
There you got the build up.
Maybe I don't wanna be.
Ooh. Like the ad-libs over that too.
Call a dream. How you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe. And it's how you call a dream.
like that guitar riff too. Oh, that was fun. All right. All the comments were saying for the live version, I should do the one for live at Pepsi Center. So that's the one we're doing. Here we go. I really like the mixing already.
I've been invaded by the need to stay inside this cage. Day after day I'm hurting, but I choose to stay this way. Running out of things to say.
Ooh,
It's
the grit she's got in her voice.
He's treating me out just the same. I'm in too deep. Give me something to believe.
Ooh.
And it's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me
Oh, Paul has,
like an animal. Just wanna breathe.
I can't complete a sentence apparently.
And it's how you call a dream. My vision's blurry as the pain keeps crawling up my skin.
Ooh, that harmony too.
Pressure's building and I'm on the verge of caving in. Ready enough for the kill. If this can't
I love the
bring me
grit
to
she's
life,
got on her
then I will
voice.
suffering just for the thrill. I'm in too deep. Give me something to believe. And it's how you call a dream. Colliding every time. The chaos drives me wild like an animal. Just wanna breathe.
Oh, it has to be on the backtrack. Seems like it.
Always open in the dark. I've been underwater right from the start. Rope is wearing thin, can't take it anymore. And that's how you call a dream.
She's got so much passion there.
Colliding every time. That chaos drives me wild like an animal.
God, that'd be so fun to see live.
Maybe I wanna become what I feel.
Oh,
How you call a dream? Colliding every time. Like an animal.
I was having so much fun on the drums. Oh my God, that was so good. I see why you guys were all recommending this one. Jeez. All right, so I spent about an hour reviewing each of the 4 versions, going through section by section to try and pick out everything I can. And just overall impressions, I love this song. Absolutely love this song. It's heavier. You've got great chorus vocals, the song structure, the contributions from every single person in the band is just amazing. The mixing on the Pepsi Live version was just perfect. I see why everyone recommended that particular one over the others. And the Vivo one, good sound quality, didn't quite have the same energy as the Pepsi version because obviously there's a crowd to interact with and Danny's just like masterful in engaging the crowd. The MTV version, not my favorite, not very well mixed and whatnot, but it still had some value in pulling out things that I may have missed in like the production of the other versions. So those are just the 30,000 foot view over those. Now I'm just gonna go section by section. Studio version. There's a lot of vocal distortion on Danny's vocals in the verse, and there's like another doubled layer, it sounds like, where it just has a really neat effect. I'm not entirely sure what they did to it, but it sounds like there's 2 layers and it's distorted and with some band limiting, which really cool vocal effects on it. Another thing I noticed in the verse, there's like the guitar scratches leading into the chorus, but there's also like an octave sort of minor interval, like da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na-na, like going on in the right channel. All of that stuff was added in for the backing track, in the live versions on all three different ones. Another thing I noticed in the studio version too is that the bass tone had a little bit of a rattle to it. I really like the rattly bass tone. If you guys have like listened to some of my other videos and like breaking down some of this stuff, I love that tone. I really, really love that tone on the bass guitar. Another thing I noticed too, which was different from the live versions, is that when she sings in too deep, like going into the chorus, it sounds like she's going into her head voice for that. But in each of the live versions, she does that full chesty, sort of voice. And so that was kind of an interesting little thing I noticed between the different versions. Also actually all three of them, again, the octave guitar is on the backing track with all of it. Like Dani is not playing during that section. She's fully engaged with singing and crowd engagement, at least in the Pepsi version where there's a crowd. And the Pepsi version, I love the drums and the bass. They have such an amazing, full, punchy tone to them. In all three of the live versions, Dani gets a lot more gritty, but I feel like it's more pronounced in the Vivo and the Pepsi versions. I love that extra aggression that she injects into the live versions, and I think that's true like throughout the song, not just in the verse but in the chorus, the bridge, everything. She just has a lot more aggression. She's a lot cleaner in the studio version. Going through some of the other notes, the chorus, one of the things that I was noticing is the way that it's done. You have 4 phrases for the chorus, and on the first 2, the hell you call a dream, sorry, bad impression. The chord progression starts on the and, like the one and of the whole progression there. And then in the third pass through, it's on the downbeat. And of course, the chord progression changes as well, which is neat how they kind of have like they establish the main riff, the main theme in the first 2 pass throughs. Then the third, they twist it with the starting on the downbeat, the change in chord progression. Everything about that was just like, ooh, that's fun. And then on the final pass through, there's another change up. It's like the first 2 revisited, but then Pau's drumming gets a little bit like groovy. Like there's like almost like turns into a little bit of a dance track. There's just so much like variation and interest that they put into it, and it's amazing. I love it. Another thing too was there's 3 different hooks in the chorus. You've got the give me something to believe. That's one hook. Then the second hook is the chorus vocals, the oh, again, forgive my bad vocals. And then the third hook was, I really like the wild like an animal. It's just kind of has like this swing to it. The whole thing, everything about it makes it so memorable and makes it something that I will be listening to in my head throughout the entire day today. Same sort of principles go into the live versions, where Dani's grittier. The backing track seems to have most of the chorus vocals. And the thing that I'm noticing too is how much fun Pau is having on the drums. She is just having a blast. Like her facial expressions just show pure joy, which is interesting because Dani kind of has like this I'm kind of messed up and like angry and like losing it sort of attitude about her, whereas like Pau is just like I'm having a grand old time. It's the contrast between the two of them is just pretty fun. Then getting into the second verse, some of the things I noticed with the differences was the starting on Alejandra's bass without the drumming, which is a pretty cool choice. And then you've got a really neat harmony between Dani and Pau. I think one of the valuable things for the MTV version, even though it wasn't like the best mixed, best produced version of the song, was Pau's vocals really kind of stood out in the MTV version. She blends a lot better in the other 2 live versions, the Vivo and the Pepsi versions. I don't know, it's cool to get some of that raw stuff that you would miss in like a more produced version. And that was one of those instances with Pau's backing harmonizing vocals there. Another thing I noticed was that this time, instead of like the guitar kind of being just in one ear, like the octave guitar, it's actually Panda in both. sides this time. Another thing I noticed too between the first verse and the second verse is that you kind of had in the first verse you had like the drum pound before going into the chorus. In this one, it's just everything drops out. So you've got two different transitions to the chorus, which was a really sort of neat thing. The way that Danny is acting, the way that she acts, and like her hand movements, her facial gestures, like all of that is so. Her acting is amazing in the song. Like, I don't really think much in terms of like acting on, in a performance, like. But she really kind of exaggerates it, and it becomes like a feature of how she performs. Really good stuff. Going into the bridge, one of the main differences between the live versions and the studio version was that the guitar sounded a lot more produced, kind of like an electronic, but it's still a guitar, but it's just got a lot more production elements to it. It almost sounds like like EDM sort of thing. I might be messing up the classification there. I apologize. But then it's in the live versions, you've got her raw, regular electric guitar tone doing the chord progression. Also, the thing that I'm noticing too is that in the very high, light, clean guitar was like panned all the way over to the right. And something that she isn't playing in the live versions, but in the Pepsi version, I did notice that it was still in there, so it was like part of the backing track, it seems like. Then just getting into the final chorus, the transition, you have like the calmer chorus to transition into it. In the studio version, kind of like the trap sort of hi-hats, and then you've got the build up, and then it seems like you could build up into an explosive final chorus, but then they subvert your expectations by building up, dropping out, and then hitting you with the explosion of the final chorus too, which is like just brilliant writing. The subversion of expectations. It's just amazing stuff. Initially, while I was reacting to the song, I thought Danny was doing different ad-libs, but upon further review, they're actually a lot more similar than I was originally thinking that they were. And another thing I noticed is that from the Pepsi version, Alejandra and Pau handle the main melody for the final chorus, while Danny does her ad-libs. And in the MTV version, like the vocals, I don't know if they maybe just weren't hearing themselves well, or the production wasn't as like on point, but things kind of were a little bit on the flat side. But in the Pepsi version, absolutely on point. Harmonies, the tone, the pitch, everything was on point between Alejandra and Pau. The way Danny is able to just interact with the crowd again. I've already harped on this already, but the acting she has there, like the absolute aggression, the passion, the claps, the way she's getting the crowd engaged is just chef's kiss perfect. I think there might be some things that I missed, probably a lot of things that I missed, but those were some of the things that I was pulling out from these different performances. And I know I kind of lumped the live versions together with like occasional point out in this one and that one, some of the differences, but clearly the Pepsi one was the best of the live versions. The MTV, not the greatest one. Not because of the performance, but just because of like the overall production and maybe like the environment they were in was just kind of And then the Vivo version was very, very well produced, just didn't have like the crowd engagement, so you didn't have that extra special something that they bring to the live performance at the Pepsi Center one. So long analysis at the end here. I appreciate you guys sticking around to the end if you've gotten this far. But those are my thoughts on this video. Let me know what I may have missed in this in the comments. If you have other suggestions for the warning songs that you want me to check out, or if you want to see any guitar covers, vocal covers, shorts, or whatever you'd like to see from me music related on this channel, drop it all in a comment below. I'll give you a shout out whenever I do that video. Leave a like and subscribe if you feel obliged to, if you feel that it's worth it. I'd really appreciate it. Also, I want to thank Jonas S. for supporting me on Patreon over all this time. Thank you again for all your support. I really, really, really appreciate it. That is it for this video. Thank you guys for sticking around and checking this out and leading me on this journey. I'm really excited to see what else the warning has. So that is it. Enjoy the rest of your day. God bless you. And rock on.